Okay, guys, I'm happy to come online today to talk about something. I was caught up in a heated argument with somebody a couple of days ago. But before I could start arguing with this guy, I had to go and check his country first. And I saw he was from Nigeria. Then I said, okay, it is worth the argument. Then I had to indulge in it. A quick disclaimer, I'm not from Nigeria, I'm from Cameroon. But I had to check if this person was not from Cameroon before I start arguing, because I didn't just want to get into useless arguments. So there was this post a girl posted and asked a question that she was answering a question that somebody asks, how many programming languages should someone learn? And quite all right, she spoke well in that video. She gave a brilliant answer. But we went into this argument with this guy based on something he said, because I said, as a programmer, especially in the new age today, if you want to start learning programming, like passion, if you are passionate about programming, you should pick up C and begin from C. Then you take C++. I'm not saying be advanced in it. You pick it up for a startup. You have to know the basics, because some people will say they are the most difficult languages and they don't use. Why should we learn? Yeah, even if you go to a university, they will teach you it is compulsory. Why? Because it is the most difficult language, or those two are considered as some of the most difficult languages, but still they are the basics. If you can know them, you can know every other language. Because data structures, 90% of the time you see data structures, they come in C and C++. They will teach you C and C++, because that is where algorithm started. That is where data structure is. You'll find they'll start talking about array, linked list, stack, queue, all those stuffs, tree. There are things we see in our program every day, but we cannot identify them if you don't study the basics. They will ask you, what is a queue? You don't know. The only queue you know is the one we stand on the line, but you don't know that programs execute on that. You don't even know that the code you are writing, this is what it is. What is a stack? You don't even know. And sometimes you even write a code, you find the error is talking about the Stack Overflow. You find in your code it talks about Stack Overflow, Stack Underflow. You'll see it. It is in Java, Python, JavaScript. You'll find them there. So this guy, when I said you should take C, C++, and maybe Java, you look into them, look at data structures, then you can now pick a language of preference, or maybe a framework you start working with. And I kept out HTML. Some people will ask me HTML. Please, I kept out HTML because it is a no-go zone. Before you even talk, I want to learn programming, at least you should know what HTML is. You should know how to start up a web page. So we are not even going there. We are talking about people who have at least known what programming is. But if you have not, then go and look at HTML. You can look at CSS. From there, you can move into CSS3, HTML5. You look at it. Then you can now, when you are ready to start writing logic, because we are not talking of making static web pages here. We are talking of dynamic pages. Building application, real world applications, not making static pages. So when we start talking about being dynamic, that is when the programming language start coming in. We are not talking about styling a web page or talking about making a web page. We are talking about you have the web page, making it dynamic. So you should First of all, learn data structures. Let's take interviews. Just go online, you check interviews. You will see that almost 95% of the interviews take place in C++. You have C++, you have C, you have Java. I looked at interviews from ASAP in Germany. They needed interns, and inside those interns, what they wanted, the requirement was that you should have a good knowledge of C++, you should have a good knowledge of Java, then you should at least know one framework, which they said React or Angular is a plus. So these guys said, why should you learn C, C++, and Java? They are the same thing. And I said, no. If you say they are the same thing, it means you don't know what you are saying. And I'll prove it to them. Now, although Java came from C and C++, the same way Python came from Java and C, Python was made from Java and C, it doesn't mean that Python is the same as Java and C. If somebody is understanding that Python originated from Java and C, does not mean that it is the same as Java and C. It is something else, having its own libraries for its own purpose. So you cannot tell me because Java came from C++ and C means it's the same thing. No. In school, they teach you all. They'll teach you C, they'll teach you C++, they'll teach you Java. If you tell me that learning C# and Java is like learning the same thing, somehow along the line, I will agree with you that yes, it's maybe the same thing because they have almost the same syntax. The only thing you look in Java, you will do in C# you have console.writeLine, but in Java it's different. So I can say just like 10% is different. Just like 10% is different. The rest of the 90 almost for the structure, everything is like the same when it comes to syntax. So learning one makes it easy to pick up with the other. If you learn one, it's so easy to pick up with the other. That's why I say you should look at C and C++, because if you know those ones, those are some of the craziest syntax. Those syntax are crazy. If you can learn those ones, you know them, trust me, you pick every other language like nothing. You pick them up like nothing. And the reason I said before, I went and checked the country of the person before I argue with the person or we went into a debate, was because, to say the truth, like from my country, I can say 85% of the pupils' mentality is very bad. I'm sorry to say, but it's true. You even take an application to go, they'll tell you, they are scammers, they are this, that. I said, do you people have scammers than any other country? India have the craziest hackers. They don't even scam anymore, they hack. They will sell and deliver fake stuffs, collect the money cash on delivery. They will deliver, you say cash on, no problem, they will deliver to you and collect the money cash on delivery. When they are gone, where will you find them again? You want to talk about nonsense? Nigeria has their own, Cameroon does, but people accept technology. But you find people, there was a time like few years ago, I was in Cameroon, and then somebody was like, Java is no more, those languages are old, there are new languages coming up now. That is why you will have a Hello World app weighing 100 megabytes. Just because of one Hello World is weighing hundreds of megabytes, because you are all about taking stuffs that people have made, like libraries. You take this library, you take that library, you put. So you find out that In that library that you have adopted, there are stuffs inside that are not useful for your application. It just comes and pile up, occupy space. And now there is memory wastage, because we cannot say that's usage, that's wastage. Secondly, another reason is because they are not even willing to accept change. We are not willing. Seriously, we are not willing. You find somebody who knows how to redesign a WordPress theme, will say, I'm a developer. If you think I'm arguing, answer me, why is the UBA app not working? And if it's working, that means it's now 2 years. They will tell you, our technicians are working on it, our technicians are working on it. OTP is not coming. Push notifications, poor. So tell me, how did the developers do with system design? How was the system design? Because I don't understand. Poor system design. Very poor, bad system design. You look at, we have a country here. I mean, like, one state could be my entire country. They have bank applications, like transactions are taking place every second. Notifications are moving, but no one day has it ever had a glitch. And then sometimes they will send you people notifications that from 10 p.m. or let's say 1 a.m. bank transactions will not be going through because they are maintaining the servers. At least that time everybody is sleeping. Before they say 4 a.m., they send notifications, bank transactions are now working. Imagine a country where everybody is digitalized, but no glitch. There is no glitch in a transaction. Nothing like the network was slow. You try to open your bank app, they say it's not working. There can be 5 million people opening that same app the same minute. We have apps here like Paytm, we have Google Pay. Millions of people carrying on transactions at the same time. But we have UBA. I'm not sure, up to 2 million people. I'm even exaggerating, 2 million. I'm not sure. Up to 500 people are using that app at the same time, but the server is down. Here, they don't charge you. They make bank transfers to and fro. They don't charge you. They don't charge for credit card. They don't charge for anything. But just having a debit card in UBA, you are paying 500 per month. Just having the bank account, you deposit your money to remove it, they charge you. With poor system design. No utilization of solid principles. So please, I am begging you people, new developers coming up, don't be in a rush that I want to learn programming to start making money. You are not helping us. Pick up the basics, learn the basics, understand the basics, understand what programming is. Take up C, C++. The guy told me that the market is now shifting. I'm happy he knows the market is now shifting. People are demanding for SaaS applications. People are demanding for home automations, like cleaning bots that do cleaning for you. Those things run on Arduino and Raspberry Pi. Arduino is in C++ and then Raspberry Pi is in Python. There are others that they run on. So if you don't know the C++, how do you want to do it? You don't know data structures, how do you want to do it? I know somebody will say that's IoT. Yeah, it is IoT. And it needs IoT, people who are specialized in IoT. But if we still look at it keenly, you need the basics. The basics build you a strong foundation. Don't think because maybe you have 10 years, 20 years of experience, it means you are doing the right thing over those years. And then we entered another heated argument. They said PHP is dying, and I said every new developer that is coming up, at least take PHP, learn it a bit, you know the basics. And he said, how can I advise new developers who are coming up to pick PHP? I didn't say make it as a language of preference. I said at least get the basics, because if I call you today and I say I have this my website, it was made with Laravel. Laravel is on PHP, but I want to convert it to a MERN stack or a Mean stack. So I want you to maintain the same logic that was used in it. So tell me, if you cannot even read the code, you don't even know what PHP is, how will you see the logic? Because you need to look at the code, you need to see the logic that was implemented, so you see how you can replicate the same logic in another language. So how will you do that? Because he himself was telling me that if he has many clients coming to him now saying that they want to change their applications to other stacks. Some want them to be in Python like Django, and others want them to be in maybe MERN stack, Mean stack. But now, if you don't even understand the logic that was used, you cannot read even one PHP syntax. So how do you want to do it? Yeah, we understand people are moving from PHP to other stuff, but now you too need to look at it, you understand it, then you do it. So you can replicate the logic. That's why you see I still say data structures and algorithm is very important. That is because everywhere you go as a programmer, it will follow you till the end. You will die with data structures. We have our Windows, the browser. When you pick an icon, you shift it and keep this way. You pick this other one, you shift it and keep this way. What do you think that is? That's a linked list. That's a linked list. That very logic came by using a linked list. So you create an empty form. You type things, you post, they post. You type another, you post, they post. Now, you catch errors and you handle them. What do you think made that possible? Those are arrays. You create an empty array, should any problem happen, you push it into the array. Okay. So you now say what will happen after that. When you post something, it goes, it's in an array. Now, when you start, you post, you say, let this newsletter come first, let this one come like this, let this. What do you think that is? That's a stack. You stack things. So, if you don't even understand what you are doing, how do you expect to work? It's not just about writing code. Yeah, that makes you a professional, but that does not make you skilled. A professional developer is different from a skilled developer. Learn that. I'll see you people next time.